what do we want from our learners really? How do we want to prepare them for the outside world? And I would argue that we want to foster transdisciplinary skills. We don't just want them to go away and get these fantastic grades from our lessons, because once they enter the real world, and the real world is changing so fast now, faster than it was when we were in it, do we not want to make our students world ready? Okay, and how do we do that? We need to give them skills that will allow them to work and function in the real world. I've been in Qatar now for 10 years. My students in year 10, my first lesson, they are now, one of them is an engineer for Qatar Airways, one of them develops the app for Qatar Airways, and these are students that I had in my class. And whenever they visit my school, they'll tell me that, "Sir, you taught us skills that we use still now in the real world," okay? And that's just analysis skills. Back then, I was tinkering with technology. But we have to, with the ever-changing world, which is so heavily based in technology now, we have to make them world ready. And so we have to teach them transdisciplinary skills. The second thing I would argue we have to teach our students is that it's linked to this, which is global competence, okay? We can't have our students go out into the real world of work with a fantastic set of grades, but they're incompetent. Okay, they face a problem, they're like, okay, what did I memorize in maths that I could use here? What did I memorize in my history lesson that I could use here? They can't. What did I write down in my copybook through rote learning that I can use here? They can't. There's not a single job in the world where they're given a copybook, here's your book, you're going to spend the rest of your life writing in this. There isn't. So why are we only giving our students a copybook, here's your copybook, write the date, the lesson objective, the title, and you do that every single lesson? There's not a single job in the world where they are going to have to do that. So why are we doing that? Why have we not changed the way that we do things? And the third objective was, we want to send our students into the modern world so they are world ready, relying on intellect, knowledge, and creativity rather than something they found on social media. There's so much bad advice out there now on social media. It's crazy. There's so much bad advice. We don't want our students to memorize something in our lessons, but we do want them to use their knowledge creatively. Okay? I believe to every problem, there's always a creative solution. If you look hard enough, if you think creatively enough, you can solve that problem. Okay? And we have to teach our students how to do that. And part of that is using technology in the classroom and bringing in elements of the outside world into our lessons. So that our classrooms, and I was having this conversation the other day, our classrooms aren't stuck in 1972 and the world is 2024. Okay? The way that the classrooms were organized in the 1970s, forget that, even the 60s, students were ordered in rows, they'd be sat down to prepare them for what? For factory work. But we're not preparing the world for factory work. We're not preparing our students for factory work anymore. Okay, so why are we teaching them the same way? Why haven't we changed how we do things? Okay, and so global competence is what? To use disciplinary concepts, theories, ideas, methods, or findings in novel situations, to solve problems, produce explanations, create products or interpret phenomena in novel ways. Okay? Globally competent students prepare for complex societies and a global economy by learning how to investigate the world beyond their immediate environment, framing and making sense of significant issues. Okay? And there's 4 key concepts. Okay? They've got to investigate the world, recognize perspectives, take action, and communicate their ideas. But if we're not doing this in our classroom, how can we expect our students to go and do that? They're not going to just suddenly learn these skills, in the first year of training. They're going to think, why didn't I, how many students come to me after they're at university and they say, "Sir, how come we weren't taught these essay writing skills and academic references? We weren't taught it in school." And the school's teachers were too busy with curriculum to actually teach them academic writing. And not just that, when they go into the world of work, they've got to produce reports, they've got to produce all kinds of things, they've got to utilize all kinds of skills that we haven't fostered in them. Okay? If we are not preparing our students for the world outside, then we're essentially failing them. School isn't just about a grade. Okay? We have to make them globally competent. This is something that I use in my school with my students, high-performance learning. High-performance learning is good because it gives students an array of, a toolkit actually, that they can dip into. And something that they can, you can look into it. It's a very, very fantastic way of just upgrading your teaching slightly, okay? Because a successful HPL student will be empathetic, okay? We teach empathy. Will use method thinking skills. We'll use the analysis skills. And it's a set of skills that goes over and goes across different subjects. It's not English specific, it's not math specific. Okay, analysis is in every subject. Analysis is in the world of work. You know, there's a lot of talk about right now on well-being and well-being in the workplace, well-being at home, well-being at school. One of the key aspects of human emotion that's often overlooked is empathy. And if we have to teach our students to be empathetic, okay, through the texts that we teach, through the conversations we have, because if our students can't empathize, if they can't think how another person might be feeling, then when it comes to the emotional development, again, we have failed our students. Okay, when it comes to the emotional development, we have failed our students if we haven't helped our students become empathetic young people. Okay, hardworking. Okay, there's so much stress right now in the social media and the world outside of the quick fix, the hack. There isn't a hack to knowledge. Okay, you got to sit down and you got to learn it. There isn't a hack or there isn't a shortcut to widening vocabulary. You got to sit down and read books. Okay, there isn't a hack to building a house. There's a hack to fixing a wall. Okay, if there's a small hole in the wall, there's a little hack of how to fix that. But there isn't a hack on building the house from the ground up. There is no shortcut to hard work, and we have to imbue that within our students across all subjects. You know, I see a lot of faces here from all different subjects, some faces that I recognize as well. And we have to foster this idea that hard work is exactly that. There's no shortcut to hard work. And, you know, we are fighting an uphill struggle with that because, you know, the world and social media will tell kids differently. But social media, as I said, is great for entertainment, but it is not fact-based, okay? Transdisciplinary skills. I was having a talk with an old friend of mine who's deputy head, okay, and he said that within the IB curriculum, we teach transdisciplinary skills, okay, and I think this is something that we should look into as educators, even of the students from the younger years. If we can teach our students how to focus on the life and career, the learning in innovation, information media technology, core subjects and theory, if we can help our students to develop transdisciplinary skills, then again, we will be helping our students be world ready. And the other thing I wanted to focus on was, as we reach Qatar's 2030 vision, where are we? The QNV, when it comes to education, it prioritizes human development, improve education and healthcare, and increase cultural awareness and employment opportunities. How much are we preparing our students to fulfill this objective? Okay, when COVID-19 hit us, we went online straight away, and I didn't want my students to go back to using a copybook. Okay, as I said, I see no purpose of the copybook apart from it being a simple notepad, because there's not a single job in the world where they're going to be given a copybook. Hello, here's your copybook. Here's your copybook. Here's your copybook. Welcome to the world of work. There isn't one. There isn't a single job where that happens. So I use COVID-19 to ask my students to make a Google Doc. Okay, and now we're back in the classroom. I use Microsoft OneNote. So with OneNote, what you can do is you can set the classwork yourself, just like with Google Classroom too, okay? And you can set the task, students can do it, they can analyze paragraphs, they can answer questions, you can ask them to do some show, don't tell, and all of it's in the digital realm. So whether you do it in Google Classroom or in Microsoft OneNote, both ways allow users to just, and teachers essentially, to get rid of the copybook. It cuts it out completely. And you know, there's a lot of functionality, but essentially you can bring up a student's work on the board and show everyone how to use it, show everyone how the student's doing. You don't have to, as a teacher, circulate all 25 books. From your desk, you can bring up every student's book and have a look at it. And you can just check it. You can not share the screen and say, oh, Ahmed, you're lagging a bit behind. And Ahmed could be set right over there. Why? This just saves time. It just saves time, and it allows you to look at student work straight away, as opposed to you floating around. Now imagine that time that's wasted, you floating around, checking on the book, overlooking the books, trying to figure out the handwriting. We don't want our students to go into the world of work and open a laptop for the first time and learn and type like this. Okay? If we're not teaching our students digital literacy in our classrooms, then again we are failing them, because the world outside, as I said, copybook doesn't exist. If I can ask you to take out your phones and scan this QR code, okay? I'd like you to put in your answers. As you can see, your answers are shown on the board in real time. And this is a great activity to do as a starter or as a quick AFL check. Okay, it just allows you to gather your students' responses instantly. There's something else I want you to try now, which is, so we've got OneNote, we've got Mentimeter. The other device I would like you to try is Padlet. So again, scan the QR code. This is another technique or something else for your digital toolkit. Yeah, go ahead. I'll get out of the way. Students can use it to research. If they're researching a topic, they can go away and research it. They can all put their ideas, as I said, pictures, text, headings, subheadings, bullet points, changing the font, all of that in one space. Okay, it's like in the past when you give your students a big piece of A3. Okay, oh, it's big piece of A3 or a big piece of A1. Okay, now everyone write on it. Now how do they do that? Okay, I've always struggled with that because some of them are writing upside down. What do you want them to do? They can't all be on one side. So they're writing upside down, the pen doesn't work, the pen cuts through the paper. All this kind of technical difficulty you can cut out with getting them to work on a single Padlet. And it's really easy. You just share the QR code and all the answers go here. As you can see, and I want to have a look at some of your responses. Not used, effective, brainstorming, awesome, okay, effective, end of lesson plenary, what have you learned, define a word. Really, really effective, really, really useful. Okay, so I've shown you now a few things. I've shown you OneNote, Mentimeter, Padlet, okay. So I would like you in your groups, okay, to try and design a single lesson. Okay, I'll give you about your teachers show about, let's say about 7 minutes, okay, until about 10:15. Okay, you've all got one each, but if you can all just have a discussion amongst yourself. If one person elects himself as a scribe, try to include one element of digital transformation in your lesson plans.
So we tend to use Kahoot, we use Google Classroom, but I think just to support the literacy from the students, Padlet at the end of the lesson, as an end of lesson plenary, is very supportive.
And then in the process of brainstorming, I would let them write it using the Padlet, and then we will categorize, it's scattered, right?
Yeah.
So we will have, we will use OneNote to make the split the screen and make brainstorming and put all the categories on one side and all the categories on the other side without giving them the title.
I think it's such a shame that teachers across different schools in Qatar were very, very rarely connected. We very rarely get to share these techniques. If it wasn't for EDI, none of us would be in the same room. We all sit in our own insets. And so there's something called the ILM-Connect, which is a network I'll show you a video for. It's a network that is trying to connect teachers from all across Qatar. It's the first of its kind, okay, and the CEO is working really hard to try and connect teachers across different schools so that we can share and we can collaborate. We had a networking meet the other day, and it was just great to meet, just like yourselves, teachers from all across the country, all sharing ideas and collaborating. Okay, we're at the forefront of teaching our students various things. We have to teach our students how to use the phone beyond social media, beyond talking to their friends, beyond making a call, beyond ordering food. Okay, I hope this session has been very, very useful for you. Thank you very much for your time, and hope to hear from you online. Thank you very much.